It was raining when you said goodbye. Not heavily. Just that thin, persistent kind of rain that soaks through everything eventually. You stood in the doorway, and they were already halfway down the path, turning back to wave. You waved back. You didn't think anything of it. That's the thing about last times. They never look like last times. Maybe you remember what you said. I'll call you tomorrow. Or maybe drive safely. Something ordinary. Something that didn't carry the weight of forever. Because how could it? You had no way of knowing that the next time you'd think of them, they wouldn't be there. Not in the way they were. The way they always were. Just there. There's a photograph somewhere in your phone. You haven't looked at it in months. It's from that day. You didn't even know you took it. They're in the middle of saying something, their mouth half open, their hand lifted like they're about to point at something off camera. You took it because of the light, the way it hit the table, not because of them. And now it's one of the only things you have. You still know their number. You haven't typed it in a while, but you still know it. That string of digits lives somewhere in your brain, like a house you used to live in. You could call them. Tonight, even. It's late enough that they'd probably answer. But you won't. Not because you don't want to, and not because it would be strange. You just don't know what you'd say. Hi. I was just thinking about that time we got coffee. Hi. I just remembered how you used to fold your napkin into a square. Hi. I didn't tell you something important that day, and now I can't. The real weight of it isn't loss. Not exactly. It's that you carry around these unfinished sentences. These moments that were never marked as significant until after they passed. There was a conversation you had in a kitchen, sometime around 11 p.m. You were both tired. You were both talking around something neither of you wanted to say. And then one of you made tea. And the moment passed. And you thought there would be another one. Here's something we don't talk about enough. It's not just that people leave. It's that they're already gone, long before they go. Or maybe you're already gone. There's a version of you that existed in that moment, with them, in that kitchen. You don't get to be that person anymore. You don't even know if you'd recognize them. And that's what you mourn. Not them. Not really. You mourn the person you were when they were still in the room. The version of yourself that felt seen enough to speak without thinking. To leave things unsaid, knowing they'd still be there tomorrow. You didn't know. You couldn't have known. But isn't it strange that you didn't even think to ask? There's something about driving at night that makes you remember. Maybe you're listening to this on the way home, headlights cutting through the dark, windows up. Somewhere a few kilometers away, someone is driving the same road in the opposite direction. You'll never meet them. You'll never know what they're carrying in the passenger seat, what's playing on their radio, what they're not saying to the empty seat beside them. We walk past last times every day. We just don't stop to look at them. We don't stop to say, hey, this might be it, because that would be unbearable. So we don't. We say, see you later. We say, take care. We close the door and turn the lock, and we don't look back. And then later, sometimes much later, you're standing in a room and something reminds you. A song, a smell, the way the rain hits the window. And you think, oh, that was it. That was the last time.
You didn't know. You weren't supposed to know. But you keep going back to that doorway anyway, hoping that if you remember it clearly enough, you can still wave back.